Okay, 1, 2, 3. Hey there. Hi. Whatever.
If you're talking to me, you're just saying hi to who's listening.
I'm talking to you and them. Welcome to our first broadcast of Not Another Mom podcast. My name is Cecily.
And I'm Session.
And that's my daughter.
Yeah.
And we're both moms.
Yeah, crazy.
And what'd you say?
That's this crazy world.
I mean, it can be. Depends on what side you're on. But Not Another Mom podcast is real talk for the modern mom. No granola here.
Well. Yeah, we're not granola moms.
We're not doing the granola. Okay. Now, this podcast is going to be a candid and honest discussion of the joys and challenges of motherhood. And you got to say it like that with that voice.
All right, you got it.
We're focusing on real-world solutions and support for moms. I was a young mom, and this mom sitting next to me
is a
young mom too. But guess what? Young moms get older. You know what I'm saying? They get wiser. And I wish I had these frank conversations with my mom. She's from another time. So I feel like us being 20 years apart, we can kind of relate a little bit better. And I think that every mom needs, a listening ear. So if we can be that for y'all, being that I have a 10-year-old, I still am going through the mom thing, even though I have an adult daughter. So it's very pertinent to me because I'm still in the mom box. And you? Why are you here?
I think it's a great idea too. It's definitely something that I wanted to be a part of as well. I think the big one when you talked about support, I think that's huge because I know what it feels like at times to not have that. It may sound crazy sitting next to your mom, but
hey, tell the truth, Shane.
Just being real. But I understand that as well. I think it's cool also to have a space where you can talk as well, just about anything that you want. It's entertaining, it's fun, it's therapeutic. So, yeah.
Right. Well, that's cool. I love it. It feels good in here. So, yeah, we want to hit on some values, and we probably will never repeat these again. But since it's your first time hearing us, we really are doing this one to pass on some wisdom. And I was hoping I could think of something cool like a momsdom, but that doesn't sound right. So yeah, I'll find some other corny ways, some corny
trying to get
jargon. Anyway, but we also want to create a fun and creative project within the family. I've always tried to integrate my kids and stuff, and I think that this might be the thing. This might be the thing that Session will be willing to do.
I'm in all projects. All projects. I have been there. If you see my face on some of them, it's a little stank, but I'm there. Anaya is worst, I feel like.
Yes,
and Azai is the best one to show up for these things. If he could be on a podcast, I'm sure he would.
He's trying to figure out a way. He's like, Mom.
He's brainstorming podcast ideas as we speak.
He probably, he was like, how about moms and sons?
Well,
under 10 or under 11. I know, right? Okay. But I think like bridging the gap between different generations is really cool too. I think that being that you are growing up in the generation of the internet, I got to see how the internet and all that kind of changed shape and became like the forefront of how we all make money pretty much. And so I'm still in it, because I was one of the architects, I'm saying? I was like a web designer, had my own computer in college, and I taught myself how to code, so I think like we still think we're hip and we're in the know, we're doing the social medias, we're part of all that. So I think we feel more connected to you guys than I feel to like my mom. You know what I mean? Right. So I feel like we're on the other side of history, this whole world, whether you have computers and social media and all this kind of stuff. So I think that this is the thing that really keeps us together. And I think that for sure our generations feel like there's a lot that could have been done better. And we're staring at you guys like as proof that
that's fair.
Maybe I should have made some different choices. But I mean, no, I just think that it's a cool space to be open. And what I am inviting is that you get to speak from both being my child and being a mom. If my mom was on this show, I would want to have that same freedom. Where you at, Jeanette?
That's interesting. Very interesting.
Tune in. Subscribe.
Jeez.
Yes, I think we're really here. Well,
the spirit of Jeanette is everywhere.
She's always here, whether she's listening or not. Wow. Okay, so let's. I know, right? Okay, get me in trouble. Shut down a podcast.
No more
Somebody just said this to my mama, and she like, I heard about you little not another mom podcast. Who's the other mom?
We haven't even released it.
Was it? Were you talking about me?
Well, she fits.
Whoa. Okay, so moving right on, we want to get into some fun stuff this week, some light and airy things. I just finished Beef from Netflix earlier this week. Did you finish it?
I did. I finished it in a disgusting amount of time. I think it took me 2 days or something terrible.
I think we all finished in about 2 days.
Yeah, it was bad. Like, my house was dirty. Zion wasn't fed. Just binging Netflix.
I mean, I think it's still cool that you can still binge a show.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Anything that, like, keeps my interest to where I binge these days is super, like, I'm like, wow, that was really good. Like, there was another one I forgot to tell you about. It was it's like one of the foreign, like, Netflix one. It's like a man falls for his son's fiance.
That sounds crazy.
It's nuts. But I binged that and I was like, that's the best thing I've ever seen.
The best thing?
Yeah, it was good. It was nuts.
First of all, she be giving A+ to things that don't be A+, so don't get excited.
It's cinema. If you just like
all kinds of
watching
stuff,
a story
and then you be like,
unfold.
Why did she tell me to watch it?
I wish my wish for myself is that I surround myself with people who take my recommendations on Netflix seriously.
You need to start a review channel.
Maybe I just started a podcast.
I need for her to add a Y too, because she'd be like, you gotta see this, and I will sit here and stress myself out to watch it, and I'd be pissed at the end, like, why does she want me to watch it? She know I don't like that shit.
But I understand, like, it could be like the content could be terrible, but the story was good, right?
And I'd be like, why she know I don't like this? Why she want me to watch it? I'd be frustrated. But Beef. So give me 2 things you like, 2 things you didn't like.
I like that it was like in LA. I liked we saw 2 different sides. We saw like the wealthy artistic part of LA, and then he was struggling in his moments of despair. It was cool to also I guess it kind of showed Asian culture a little bit. Like it was a cool. The characters in itself were nuts. Like the woman, I think she was crazy. And the part where she like texted a man to come to her house, and we saw a different person. I don't think that was ever explained. It was the weirdest thing I think I've ever seen in my life.
Freaking weird.
Yeah, that was crazy. The woman also who was gonna out her ended up being the fiance of the white woman. Didn't make sense.
Not at all.
There were a lot of things I was just like, what is this? I don't know. I thought it was good just because it was interesting, but I still at the end of it I'm like, what?
Yeah,
you know.
I agree. I feel like for the sake of keeping my attention, they won. Yeah, and I think that was it a cheap attempt though? Yeah, because they broke all kinds of rules when it comes to like writing stories, right? But the thing that I'm gonna go backwards. I'm gonna say what I didn't like. What I didn't like was they introduced concepts that were not consistent. Like you said, who is that right there in the room? Then you got this witch thing that came out of nowhere. And then there's just an element of like magic and foolishness that was not consistent. It was like they handed it off to different writers. It felt pieced together.
It was chaotic in a way.
But here's the thing. there's already a level of chaos. I don't know what's going on. I mean, honestly, I thought it was like tit for tat.
That's what I was expecting. Like, and then they would probably end up together, and they had a sexual tension or something.
Yeah,
but it didn't do that.
It didn't do any of those things. There was nothing else for us to do but to drive off the cliff to see if this thing could stop. I think it was just like, how do we get out of this? It was like the longest improv. I felt the burn. I was like, I'm ready for y'all to be done too. Okay. It made no sense, and you left us there. You left it literally on the cliff, trying to figure out what was going on. Things I liked about it. I liked the fact that for several episodes in, we saw Asian folks, varied Asian folks, not all the same type of Asian folk, and they spoke English. They were comfortable with being second generation, maybe third generation. We always assume that foreigners or people who immigrated here or people who are not from here natively, which is mostly all of us, so don't get mad, is that we all have to speak our native tongue, and for some reason we have Asian folks pegged as being brand new. Asian people have been here for a very long time. They help construct the United States along with black folks and everybody else. So there are folks who are definitely several generations in. So for to see them all just interacting as people, as I know them to be, as some of my best friends are Asian, ding, ding, ding. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, thank you, because it's always given like some sort of foreign film aspect, and I know that these folks need to see people like them. And if you do interweave like a little conversation here and there, which is what bilingual people do, that's normal. That's normal. So that right there was beautiful. The second thing I liked about it, which will be a short one, is I thought that the men were very masculine. The men had deep voices. They were tall. They were brutes. They were cool. You know what I mean? Yeah, they were, because I
think they did a good job of sexualizing them too.
Yes, they did. They did, because it's like, if you listen to the world, not the world, but maybe just America, that people have stereotypes of Asian men not being the most attractive to everyone, I'll just say. And that's not true. They can be very handsome people, and it's just, I think that's, a lot of that is just prejudice and racism and that sort of thing. But I like the fact that the men, they had swag, and I feel like they borrowed from other places, and I'm okay with that. It's a melting pot. Los Angeles, we all live around each other, so it's not uncommon to meet an Asian person who sound like he from South Central. You know what I'm saying? So I thought that was pretty cool, and I did get into the fact that the mom was a ride or die, and she was a ride or die just for the dream. You know what I mean? I thought that she was going to say something to her husband about it, and she didn't. And I just really liked that she wasn't hanging that over her head, because it's so easy to do that, even though she was like, you going to get it right. I liked the fact that she was down for the family and willing to do whatever it took, because she knew her son was not an artist.
I like that.
She knew. She was like, he trying, but he ain't nothing without you, girl. So I'm supporting the dream, and no matter how crazy you are, I need for y'all to be together.
Even her concept, the woman of like being a stay-at-home mom and being with her kid every day, that was interesting to see, like how that looked in LA with someone who had like money. Like what she was fighting to get to on the other end is it was pretty, I understand it, like how she drove herself to like those links to get to that end, to not work and still like have $1 million house or something. And still be cool,
because that is the dream. You got to make money here. Either you find somebody with it or you got to make it. And I understand the pressure of like, you're not there with your kid every day. Your kid you can't even calm your own kid down. You know what I mean? And then so it's like the dream is to like be able to have it all, have the house, the money, the man, and the child. And I think it's every woman's desire to be there for their kid and be there for the milestones and stuff like that. Our roles are changing, but I just don't think that women are going to be like, you got this, I'm out. I think you're going to feel some kind of guilt. No. That your husband is teaching the baby how to walk and talk, and you.
But the way those things always end in like is resentment.
Yeah.
Whether it's like the man going out and working, you stay home, or it's like you going out and working, him feeling like emasculated. Like there is no really like winning. I feel like in that situation.
You know, here's the thing. I just think that because, you know, when I was married to your dad, I went from being independent and working on like my young adult life to being like this person who had no adult friends, talking to a baby all day long. And I went through a identity crisis, and you feel like you're in a different world, in a different space, especially if other people are not in the same, if your friends are not going through it. So I definitely felt like, who am I? Like, what am I? And it seemed like your dad's life was so full, you know, and that was just like a year or so. But on the flip, you know, when I went back to work, I was like, wow, I'm missing out on your milestones. I wasn't there for this. I wasn't there for that. You know, I was working really hard. There were times I was working from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. And Tiffany would tell me all of the cool things that you guys did. I was grateful that I could pay for a good caregiver. But I was like, man, I really, really wish that I could be there for you guys. So I just think that women, not only in my age group, but in your age group, will still be plagued with those ideas because we still have it hard-coded in us that we're supposed to be taking care of our kids. You know, and I feel like some people just look at you, especially other stay-at-home moms, to be like, interesting.
At the same time, I get that. Like, they do, like, I do see that the stay-at-home mom is looking like that. The way I counter that feeling is, like, your livelihood depends on one person who can get up and say, I don't want to do this anymore, and you have to go out and you have to be like me.
Yeah.
So true. It's not unless you're like a trust fund baby, you're sitting up there and chilling, you got money like in a trust. It's not like a utopia. Like it's still, there's still pressures there. It could still be taken away from you.
Yeah. I really feel like the way I approached it when me and your dad were talking about what we're gonna do with you is like I was gonna give you, my whole thing was like 2 years. I'm gonna give her 2 years of my life. I'm gonna give Naya 2 years, and after the 2 years you'd be ready to go to daycare, that kind of thing. Now that I know what it's really like to raise kids, I really feel like you need someone there for at least 5 years. You really need somebody there to put in the time.
Stay home for 5 years.
To stay at home for 5 years until your kid goes to preschool. Like, because even preschool is like what, 4 hours a day?
They offered me 8 to 2:30 p.m. or 8 to 3.
Actually, that's different because we were out at 12:30.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Yeah, but I mean, even that, it's like, you know, your kid is used to being with you every day. There are people who remember when Zaya would cry when I dropped him off. They're like, he used to cry when you left. That's so cute. And I'm like, he is literally
even when he was with us, he cried. Yeah, he was at home.
Well, yeah, he actually just cried in general. He's probably crying now.
About the podcast.
He's probably crying.
Hey,
not a
mom.
Have
inspired him to write the best podcast ever.
Not your mama's podcast, or your sister's podcast. I'm your host. Yeah, but yeah, you know, it's always going to be a debate. I think one thing for me is like, because I was able to stay home with Zaya a lot, or work from home, I should say. I feel like our bond is different, but I also feel like y'all are like writers. You know what I'm saying? I feel like y'all don't really complain much. Yeah, I feel like y'all like, you know, we like y'all got it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, they're different.
Yeah. You guys
different.
I feel like you guys see the real me, and he sees like. I feel like he sees a very polished version, you know, of a mess. It's
like the real deal.
Yeah, I think you guys are like, oh, I've seen the battle scars, and it's like he sees me like after the Botox. Like, yeah, she doesn't look as angry as she did last week. So it's like, can you really, really like respect who I am when I'm come undone because I've had like so much experience? You know what I mean? Like, it's like, can I really come at him and be the real me? I mean, I'm not saying I'm not the real me, but you know, it's like you guys see me before, you know, this part of my life when I grew up some. So I feel like you guys have a different respect It's bizarre to discuss it like that, especially when you decide to have children with a large age gap. You know, it's like you get a different version.
I think we also have a different awareness than him. I feel like like I could come in a room. I think it may just be me, and I sometimes doesn't have. I could come in the room and know what's about to happen, where I need to be, and it's like he doesn't really have that. He's like, you know, I'm in the room no matter what, and I'm gonna say what I want to say no matter what. I'm gonna do what I want to do. I kind of knew when to ask for things, when to be away. Like I kind of knew how to wade through a situation, and I knew like what certain things looked like and meant, kind of.
Yeah, I see what you mean, because even tonight, like, you knew I was upset, and I was like, how'd she know? Like, I'd come in here and be like, so hey guys, let's go and play this, and the boys would be like, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, you don't realize that my feelings are in my throat right now. Yeah. So yeah, you guys, you learned how to read the room, and maybe that was out of survival.
Yikes.
I mean, let's be real, because I told you, I said when I was a kid, we could stay up as long as we were quiet, and we would be on the floor while my mama was watching Johnny Carson, and we would tell my sister to stay quiet or else, and then she would be like, Mama, can I get a soda? And she would be like, go to bed. We all have to go to bed.
I can make that sacrifice. I don't know if it's sacrifices or what, but I'd make that sacrifice of not having soda for us to watch.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, we didn't breathe. We were like so quiet, and you could tell she would just get to moving, and you're like, oh man, she about to ask for something. And it's like, we about to, don't do it because we have to go to bed. She didn't care. She was a saboteur. Anyway, that's another day. That's another topic for another day.
Okay.
So you were mentioning something to me about a show.
Oh, Jesus. A show, she says. It's Love is Blind. It's the biggest thing ever right now. It's everywhere. It's all across the internet. I tried to get you into the season. We watched one episode, and she actually had me explain each storyline of each person. But she was so interested, and I was like, why didn't you just watch it?
I did watch, like...
We watched one episode.
No, we watched like 4 or 5 episodes that day, didn't we?
Did you finish the season, though?
No, I didn't. They're at the reunion, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so...
It's done now. The season's done.
So there's like 2 episodes. I'm 2 episodes away from the end. But I did see quite a bit of it. But see, I was busy watching Ready for Love on OWN with Nephew Tommy.
I don't watch
so they got their reunion going. So I because Netflix bothers me. They look at people throwing their lives away as entertainment.
I don't think this is throwing their lives away. They actually recently are coming out. There's people filing a suit against Netflix because they said the conditions that they had the contestants in, it meant, like, emotionally broke them down, and they weren't given water and food, and they were just trying to get out of there, basically. Like, like, it was nuts. Like, they're filing a suit against it for, like, emotional damage or something. So, yeah, that's currently what they're going through. I hope the show survives. Sorry for what you went through, but, you know, I need a couple more seasons before y'all take my show away.
If you were to talk to people who are reality shows, I used to work with a lot of reality show talent, and they all will attest that they keep you drunk, they keep you tipsy, they don't give you a lot of water, they don't let you sleep a lot, they do things that kind of throw off your psyche and to affect your willpower. And if they are able to house you, then they really got control over you. So they do things on purpose to agitate you and take you off your center. So you start doing weird stuff. And they want you to. I mean, they have psychiatrists. They have all kinds of. They pick these people for a reason. They pick them because they act up.
And they don't act up like they should on the show. I feel like you can get a lot. I don't know. They pick the right type of black people. I feel like, in my opinion, really? Like they pick the right type of people who don't. Like, there was that one season with a bisexual man and the black one.
Oh yeah,
that was real.
That almost turned into something like
yeah. But even the cleanup for that was really good. Like, he said he was sorry, and I think she said she was sorry for. I don't know if she apologized, but even
I think she did.
Yeah, I think she did say sorry, right? Did she?
I don't know. No, I think she was outdone. We never really heard from her again.
She's on another Netflix show. It's another dating show. She's on a dating show. She's with a white man.
They probably had to do that to keep her from suing the company. Because how are you going to sit here and put me on with somebody that is bisexual and I didn't sign up for that? See, I have to sign up for that.
I understand her argument.
I gotta say, I'm open to men of different persuasions.
Yeah, I don't think she was like...
they did not give her that choice.
But I don't know, did he say he was bisexual to Netflix?
Dude, yes, he did, because he talks about it in his confessional, and I know the confessionals are shot after the fact. But listen, I just watched it the other day.
Really?
Yeah, because somebody was talking about how it was a crazy read. Look, no, I'm gonna pull it.
I don't remember him discussing being bisexual before.
Yes, he
that
did.
Moment. I absolutely don't.
Right before that moment, he said, "I hope that she's okay with this, because there's one thing I forgot to tell. I didn't tell her, or whatever." He this was his storyline. They knew it.
Saw her first day in the pods. He need to be like, this is who I am. That done and done.
Yeah.
Put it in her hands and let's see what happens. But we sprung it on her after they were married. Mm-hmm. That was nuts.
You can't marry me and expect for me just to stick with you when you're lying. That's crazy.
And you're lying about things of your own nature. What else could you lie about?
Exactly. I mean, let's be real. Like, everything, because this show is weird. You don't have enough time to tell everybody. I'm trying to find the show.
Well, they do have time. That's the thing. There are people who are on dates on that thing for like 10 hours.
I know, 10-hour but dates. It's still not enough time. Here it is right here. Diamond and Carlton.
You talking to someone for 10 hours?
Okay, here they go right here.
Well, you know what? I guess I'm for this because you having a bad.
And then listen, his cadence changed.
Mm-hmm. This situation, I am okay. Well, you know what? I guess I'm for this because you having a bad attitude. Go ahead. No, this ain't for you. Have your moment. You have your moment.
He said, "Have your moment."
Seriously,
that felt like we were in Basketball Wives.
I'm being honest with you. You'd rather a man lie to you about who he's been with.
Okay, I think we caught it right after he said it.
That's insane. I don't need that type of energy in my life. Have your moment. Oh, nah, you can go. You can go because you got some issues that I see now. I have issues because I'm telling my truth. You have some serious issues. So the fact that you're gonna disrespect me, you're gonna disrespect me.
I love that. You're typical, really.
You led me to believe that you really was into me. No, you don't. Because if you did, you would have been here and told me from day one.
She's right.
Diamond, I am bisexual.
I don't have to disclose information that I'm not ready for somebody. Like, I have disclosed information to people.
But you don't think that's misleading for other people? You about to go here and walk down the aisle.
Nobody has ever had an issue with it except you.
Lies.
He said, "I have a method."
He did say he had a method. And I mean, I feel bad for Carlton because I don't think he knew it could potentially be bad, but he didn't know it was going to be that bad.
Yeah, I think his reaction, how to do it, having his feelings hurt, that whatever method he had backfired, or whatever it was, he thought she would overcome that and it would be cool, but she didn't get to that point. And she didn't have to. And we definitely not getting to that point because he said something about her hair.
Yeah, he did.
He put some water on her, something crazy.
He said something. I was trying to get to that part.
Like, that video is nuts.
He said something about her wig being
yeah, something about her hair. Like, you're a girl. Like, he came at her like a girl. You gotta get back to your...
So what am I missing out on? I was blind.
It is a good show. I feel like it is a good show. It's entertaining. Wow. It's real people. It's also cool to see like real people who are usually older, even when they show the young ones, just kind of the dating like process, like what they say, what they do, how they like come together and merge their lives, what their families think, what their like parents think and stuff like that. This season was controversial. It was a lot of mess, which I'm completely here for in terms of, because I like reality TV, but it was just a mess. It was nuts. Like, it was the first season where we saw one person, this guy, he proposed to one girl, and then they went on vacation. She acted up. She was crazy. To begin with, she was like a mean girl anyways, and she was like the worst person. And there's the other person that he could have chose to be with was Bliss, and Bliss is like super, super nice to everybody in the house. She's a nice girl. She's completely opposite of this like mean white girl that he had. And he chose girl, right? And he chose the white girl. They go on vacation, and she, like, even when they first meet, she's like, you look weird, you look like a cartoon. And it was just like, it's a weird moment. Like, I don't know what that mess was, but it's the first season where somebody like broke up with somebody else and engaged themselves to someone else or something like that.
Yeah, that's a lot.
But yeah, they're married to this day.
They are?
Yeah. The person that he, like, the second woman, the girl, the black girl, they're married to this day. They've been married for a year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I've seen some of it, and I'm interested. I'm curious about the black couple. I am curious about the couple you're mentioning, because I was like, how are you going to be second best? Like, mom cried.
Yeah, I hated that.
I didn't have that conversation. She was really worried. I would be worried too.
My thing is, I want to see moms on Love is Blind.
Yeah.
I want to see a single mom.
That's what they say. They don't have single moms on that show, right?
No, they don't. I've never seen a single mom on Love is Blind.
But on the show that I'm watching, Ready to Love, they have single mothers on that show.
There you go. Because I'm very real. If it comes to Los Angeles, I'm applying, and they need you to watch Zion for 8 weeks.
Goodness gracious.
I'll get paid $1,000 a week. I'll give you about $2,000.
Well, I think that people are excited about seeing young and new love, and I think that in reality, most people are like getting remarried or breaking up. Serious relationships are dissolving, and they're moving. You know, like your life doesn't stop at 25 when you find your soulmate. My dad is in his 70s, and I've lost count on how many.
I mean, young people aren't
but you know what I mean?
Into long-time relationships.
I've heard this, but I mean, I don't think they really did in the first place. Like when we were married, when I was married to your dad, nobody else was married. Like that wasn't a thing.
Well, yeah, marriage has been on a decline. I don't know if it's. I think cohabitation or whatever is just serious commitments. I don't think they're really happening.
I mean, I don't. Here's the thing. I don't know what's going on. I'm just confused.
You're so stuck my deadline.
Because they make it seem like the girls don't want the relationships, and I'm just thinking, well, I remember being in my 20s, and you know, I was working hard, and I didn't want to waste my time on no young boys. I was trying to see what the older guys were doing because they had money. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted somebody to take me somewhere.
Dating though in LA, I feel like it's different than anywhere else.
Yeah, LA is not. It's not fair to discuss LA in this conversation because LA is totally different.
Insanity.
Yeah, it would make no sense.
None of the rules apply. There's no rules.
Exactly. Like you can go. You know, a couple of cities down or up, and you get a normal experience. Here, it's not. It's always going to be the vortex. It's always going to be a little black hole where the rules don't apply. Here, but I mean, nonetheless, like I see how our society is enthralled with the idea of young love, and that's why these shows get so much I think attention.
30-year-olds on it.
Yeah, but I mean that's young because that is young love. It's like your first go around with somebody that you want to build a family with. And I think that make it into a game show, forcing people to make these decisions in 6 to 8 weeks is insane. We're doing that just for the purposes of seeing a relationship mature, but it doesn't really mature. You know what I'm saying?
They're successful relationships.
Just because people get married and just because people stay together, because people stay together for all kinds of reasons. I can't point out a couple and say, hey, this is why they got married. I'm not even trying to go there. But I just feel like it's random as hell that we are getting entertained by two people deciding to get married after talking to each other in a box for 2 weeks.
Yeah, I'm here for it. I need Netflix to just keep on. Sometimes it's the only reason I get out of bed, so... Wow.
Netflix is saving lives over here.
Saving mine.
That's crazy. So,
but the technical...
Again what?
Again.
What do you need?
Again, bathroom.
I don't think you need bathroom. You already peeked.
Did you hear about the technical difficulties with Netflix reunion?
I did. I heard about it, but I didn't see it. What happened?
So they said they would live stream it. The live stream didn't work, and then that was nuts to begin with. So they had to record the show, but they were like, the episode wasn't released the day. That day it was released the next day in the morning.
Okay.
So it was like, it was, one, it was gonna be live streamed. Two, it was recorded and it wasn't released on the day of the reunion. It was the next day. Okay. It was like, it was insanity, and we still don't know who the perpetrator was. Like, why? Like, I don't know. They like, and even at that, there's a petition to get the host off the show, Nick and Vanessa, and I get that because they're not good hosts. Like, it was the worst reunion I think I've ever seen.
I think that sometimes I hear them talking about their relationship when they should be asking people about theirs.
Yeah, that's the thing. The woman is like kind of, I think she is self-absorbed to begin with, but she has her favorites on the show, and you could tell there's so many questions that we still don't know that she should have asked at that reunion. I don't know what that was. Like, there was a lot of things that need to be covered, and I don't know if the people, if they had a backup plan, if the live stream didn't work, did they write out the show, or was all of that off the top? Like, I'm still just like, wow. Like, it was the worst reunion I think I've ever seen in my life.
Oh gosh. Yeah, I've seen them talk about the show and each other, and I've always felt like their relationship was based off, I feel like their relationship is good business. And
yeah, I mean, doesn't there like drama behind? I don't really understand why they're important.
Jessica Simpson.
That I know.
Yeah.
There's a clip from back in the day where Vanessa was introducing him, and she was like introducing the wife too, and she was like, "And your beautiful wife, Jessica." And it's just like, it's funny that like, you're right. It's like, here we are. Here we are. Y'all made it. I get the convenience part, because I was wondering, I was like, what happens if they divorce? Like, what if they're gonna co-host Love's Blind?
They both get lost in the shuffle,
right? Or like, are they gonna guest star on Love's Blind next too?
I just think that I've always thought that their relationship was like really good for business. I mean,
Netflix just kind of shoved it down our throats. I didn't know who they were until they got on the show. Like, I was just like, okay, but they were such a small portion of the show that I didn't mind. But the way she blew this reunion, I was like, she gotta go.
This is like,
or get her in a journalism class or something.
Well, she gotta go. She used to be a VJ on MTV VH1. She used to be one of those people, and so she's already got her, her mass communications, whatever degree behind her.
If you saw this,
but she became a celebrity.
It was a massive fail.
Outside of like, she was talent on the network, but she became She became popular from being Nick Lachey's wife. So they had their own reality show, and it was boring.
Yeah, I can see that, because they I feel like there are boring people to begin with. She tries, I think, to bring like life to them, but they don't do it for me.
Yeah. Well, apparently the people at Coachella felt like there's this strange black woman with blonde hair wasn't doing it for them, and influencers had to explain that that's Ciara. They didn't know who Ciara was.
That's nuts. It's the new kids, man.
Yeah, I'm like, what? Y'all don't do no research?
You still have to, like, it's crazy, but we have to remember there were really people born in like 2002 who were like grown adults walking around.
That is true, but they said there was this guy that was talking about it. He had to break down her hits, and when I thought about it, I was like, the hits are extremely old. They're like early 2000s, like Goodies. I feel like Goodies is played at the mall. I've heard Goodies on a commercial. You know what I'm saying? And what else was it? What else is she known for? I'm trying to think.
Promise.
Really? Well, that's
my favorite one.
This guy said that people don't know who she is, and I mean, they were literally writing this on Twitter. You see here, she's body rolling. It says, "I don't know who Ciara is, but I see people hype, and I'm already hyped too." What? Who is the woman in the white? I'm so confused, and there's so many questions. Never heard of her. So yeah, these are all
That's embarrassing.
I know. It's like, and I mean, I thought she was kind of staying relevant from being Russell Wilson's wife.
She honestly is really relevant. I mean, on my timeline, she's relevant. I don't know when, the people's timeline, but I always see stuff with her.
Yeah.
I mean, but she's also relevant for being his wife, and they do this thing with the future being the baby daddy or whatever, and her finding a good man, and she says she prayed for him and all that stuff. Like, she has layers to why she is who she is. Like, it's not just her music career. Like, she stays relevant, I feel like, even just talking and doing whatever she does.
I think that she's definitely aspirational. I think that she's, people have seen what she's accomplished, and she's one of those moms that's got that snatch back. She got that body back, and she looks better than she ever did. Look at these. This is when she was like a teenager. I think she was 18 when she released Goodies. So I'm really happy to see her. Really happy to see her put herself out there. Go ahead and go again. You got this.
Okay.
Go ahead and go again. You gonna go again?
Yeah.
Go ahead. So let's see.
I want to come for me.
You want to come for me?
Yeah.
But speaking of bodies
Jesus.
being changed by babies, some people were talking about Rihanna wearing these dang stilettos, carrying that baby out there.
It made me nervous. It's the heels. It's a video of her walking amongst the paparazzi. To lay it out for you. They're clicking, the photos. You see the lights or whatever.
Yeah.
But she's holding the bag. She's holding the toddler. She's pregnant and she has heels on.
Yeah.
And it's like, I understand the moment. I understand. You feel it. That's bad bitch energy. It just made me nervous because being that pregnant and in heels and holding a baby, I'd fall over.
Yeah.
Like I literally would fall.
Well, most of us would because our center of gravity is definitely displaced.
Remember when I had a toolbox over my head and I tried to put it in this upper thing right here?
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
And saying like that, I literally almost fell over. Like I was 8 months pregnant. I was lifting a fucking toolbox over my head, trying to put it in the.
Smart.
It was the worst decision I ever made.
Yeah.
But
I'm clumsy too, so I definitely see myself falling down if I were to wear some heels now, actually. But you know what? Even if I fall, that baby gonna be up.
Right, the baby's gonna be fine.
Baby gonna
That's the thing. Yeah, the baby's gonna be fine. She has all these people around her. I'm just like, give someone a bag, give someone a baby. Just have someone hold your arm till you get to the door. That was my only thing.
Well, she's a mom, and sometimes you be feeling like you are a superhero.
Like if she actually came out with a maternity line, a Fenty maternity line, it would be insane.
Speaking of, because that's what I wanted to close out with, like, I have never seen anybody rock the consistently cool maternity fashions that Rihanna has rocked. And I know she had a huge success with Fenty. I don't know what's going on with Fenty. Like,
I don't know. She's a billionaire, so,
Okay. Because I've been seeing, like, class action suits on Facebook. Like,
really?
Yeah, there's, like, a little thing that you can sign into. It says, like, have you bought anything from Fenty?
What?
Yes. There's a whole class.
Yes.
And it's funny because it's on Facebook. It's like, are you a victim or something? I'm like, what? Let me see. Fenty.
Were they hacked or something? Oh, it didn't ask for consent for automatically renewing charges.
Yeah. So, and California don't play when it comes to that stuff.
That's bad.
But there's a bunch of companies that do that. So yeah, it says that Savage Fenty will pay $1 million in penalties as a part of a consumer protection lawsuit. They were charging folks. They were automatically renewing charges, and it says that they were using store credit to mislead customers about their products, etc., etc. Yeah, so
that's nuts.
They were already doing lingerie, so I just knew it was just like a thing that we would be seeing some of the maternity fashions.
That's true, but we haven't.
No.
Do that.
Yeah, I don't think she's probably gonna go that route. I think she's got her bag, and now she went away.
That's funny though. I did see something when it came out that she was pregnant with her second child. A woman came out with like a scientific study or something and said that it's being like it's being celebrated a lot for women to just kind of like have the way, like the timing in between she had her son or kids. It's being celebrated, but the body really needs 5 years to heal in between having kids. But I think it's true. Like it kind of I don't think she's spearheading the movement, but I see it a lot. Like women kind of having those like babies back to back, and it's like what 9 months in between or something, like 10 months in between. And we could
until what?
It's not that she wasn't supposed to. She can do what she want to do. But someone used her moment of announcing that second pregnancy to say, like, you know, you really should wait 5 years in between having a kid. Like, the body needs that time to heal. Like, it's a correct time.
No, it's not. You know, you can just knock it out. Just knock it out as fast as you can. Close the door.
I don't. That time period is so traumatizing. Like, I couldn't imagine. Like, I literally, I don't think things in my head connected normally for me down there, like, until a year. Like, I was disconnected from, like, I was disconnected from, like, the whole experience. I was traumatized. So I really couldn't imagine. So when she said that, I was like, yeah, 5 years, it makes sense. Works for me.
Yeah, start it all over again. Wow. Well, join the momversation.
That's great.
Yeah, our podcast is a community for moms, as you can hear. My grandson is in the background chanting about his red car. Hopefully yours are asleep right now.
There's a glass of wine waiting for you.
Okay, because
there's one waiting for me at home.
Yeah, so yeah, leave a note wherever you are listening to this. We encourage you to subscribe to the podcast, leave a review, and we'll get the socials going soon.
Oh, we are?
Yeah.
We're doing that?
Yeah, we're going to do that. Yeah.
We're doing that.
Yeah. I'm going to put red car in the title.
Yeah. Maybe this episode will be red car.
Yeah.
And we'll get it together.
Yeah, that's cool.
It'll be more constructed. Some melatonin will be used.
Melatonin.
Things will be good.
Okay. I'll have an adult us on hand. Yeah, appreciate you guys listening, and we'll check you guys later.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh my gosh.
All right.